This audiobook is packed with real-world strategies, mindset shifts, and actionable steps to help you start hustling smart, stack your skills, and turn your side gig into a thriving business. Whether you're just getting started or tired of feeling stuck, this book will empower you to take control, embrace failure as a lesson, and keep pushing forward with hunger and humility. It's time to stop dreaming and start bossing up. Let's get to work. My story from nothing to something. I didn't write this book because I have a degree in finance. I don't wear suits. I didn't have investors. I wrote this because I was broke. Not just financially, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I know what it's like to feel stuck in a system that seems built to keep you down. To feel like you're running in circles. Working hard. Staying loyal. Doing everything right. Yet getting nowhere. I've been in that place where payday is a lifeline, not a reward. Where you count coins before deciding whether to walk or take a taxi. Where every unexpected expense feels like a punch in the gut. And worst of all, I started to believe it was normal. That maybe this was just how life was going to be. But there was a moment, a breaking point, where something inside me said, this can't be it. This can't be the rest of my life. It wasn't a movie moment. No lightning bolt. No guru showed up. Just a quiet, heavy voice in my head that whispered, no one is coming. If you want a way out, you'll have to build it yourself. And so I did. With no money, no team, and no clue what I was doing, I started learning. I watched videos. I took notes. I tested things. I failed. I got up. I failed again. I tried harder. I started freelancing, selling, creating, learning how money actually works, not in theory, but in the real world. And slowly, things began to change. Not all at once. Not overnight. But consistently. I learned how to turn my time and skills into income. I built side hustles that started paying real money. I stopped depending on luck or job applications. I stopped surviving and started building. This book isn't filled with theories. It's not going to ask you to visualize a yacht and wait for it to show up. This book is for the broke beginner. The one with nothing but a dream and the will to fight. The one who's tired of watching others win and wondering, what's wrong with me? The one who's got the hunger but needs the how. I'm writing this for you because I've been you. And if you're still stuck, it's not because you're lazy or dumb or cursed. It's because no one ever handed you the playbook. So here it is. Raw, real, and written by someone who lived it. This isn't a book you read once and toss aside. It's a blueprint. A weapon. A wake-up call. But only if you're ready to stop making excuses and start making moves. You don't need money to start making money. You need a decision. You need fire. You need action. If you're holding this book, it's for a reason. Now turn the page. Let's build your way out. Chapter 1. The Broke Mindset Trap. Why being broke isn't just about money. Most people believe being broke is just about not having money. They look at their empty wallets, overdue bills, or rejected bank cards and think this is the problem. But after living it, struggling through it, and finally clawing my way out, I can tell you this, being broke is never just about money. It's about how you think about money, how you see yourself, and how much power you believe you have to change your life. You can have a zero balance in your account and still be rich in mindset. Or you can have $10,000 in the bank and still think broke, paralyzed by fear, scarcity, and self-doubt. The real trap is mental. It's not the lack of money, it's the belief that you'll never have it. That your circumstances define you. That your past failures are permanent. That success is for other people, not for you. This trap doesn't just live in your bank account. It lives in your language, your self-talk, and the limits you put on yourself every single day. It sounds like I don't have the time, or I'm not smart enough, or no one will ever support me. It shows up when you scroll past opportunities thinking that'll never work for me before even trying. You start to shrink your dreams before the world gets a chance to reject them. That's the broke mindset, and it's more dangerous than being flat broke. I used to walk around carrying that mindset like a heavy backpack. I'd see people online talking about making money through side hustles, freelancing, business, or investing, and I'd scoff. Must be nice to have a rich family. Must be nice to live in a big city. Must be nice to have support. What I didn't realize was that those thoughts weren't exposing the world's unfairness, they were exposing my own internal limits. I wasn't really mad at the system, I was mad at myself for feeling stuck in it. But here's what's wild. The moment I started questioning my beliefs, things began to shift. Not externally at first, but internally. I stopped saying, I can't afford that, and started asking, how can I afford that? I stopped blaming everything around me and started betting on myself. I took my frustration and turned it into fuel. That's when I began to learn new skills, try new things, make my first dollar online, and realize that the gate was never really locked, I just never tried to open it. When I finally did start making money, it didn't magically solve everything. In fact, I almost lost it all again because my mind was still playing the old script: spend fast, think short-term, buy comfort, avoid risk. I had to relearn how to handle money like someone who deserved to keep it. The truth is, if your mind is still broke, your money won't last. You'll either spend it trying to look rich or sabotage your own progress out of fear and guilt. That's why this chapter comes first. Because the first real hustle you need to master is reprogramming your thinking. Until you flip that switch, nothing else you read in this book will stick. You have to see yourself as someone who is capable of building wealth, not just someone trying to escape poverty. That's a powerful shift. That's when you stop asking, can I? And start declaring, I will. If you're reading this right now and still broke, let me tell you something. It's okay. I've been there. But you can't afford to let that reality define you any longer. You're not stuck because of your job, your past, your city, or your education. You're stuck because somewhere along the way, you started believing that broke was your destiny. It's not. Broke is just where you start. And your future begins the moment you say, enough. This book will give you tools, strategies, and stories, but none of it matters unless you start believing that you're worth the effort, worth the hustle, and worth the win. Because you are. The lies you were told about success. From the time we're young, we're handed a script. Go to school. Get good grades. Get a degree. Find a job. Work hard. Keep your head down. Be grateful. Retire at 65. That's the formula they gave us, the one-size-fits-all roadmap to success. But here's the truth they never told us: that roadmap is outdated, broken, and built for a world that no longer exists. We were taught to chase security, not freedom. To play it safe. To follow the crowd. But what no one told us is that the crowd is broke, stressed, and secretly miserable. What they call stability is often just a slow-motion financial trap, living paycheck to paycheck, drowning in debt, working for someone else's dream while yours collects dust in the back of your mind. We were told that success is only for the lucky few. That it takes money to make money. That unless you have connections, credentials, or capital, you're stuck. They made it seem like success is reserved for a chosen class, people born into wealth, people with Ivy League degrees, people who speak a certain way or look a certain way. But I'm here to tell you, that's all a lie. Success isn't handed out. It's not inherited. It's created. And most of the people who really made it, didn't follow the rules. They broke them. They made their own rules. They bet on themselves when nobody else would. They failed more times than they succeeded, but they kept going. Not because they were special, but because they were willing. You've probably been told that if you work hard, you'll succeed. But let me ask you this: how many people do you know who work hard every single day and are still broke? Hard work alone isn't the answer. It's part of the puzzle, but without direction, strategy, and ownership, hard work just burns you out. You can grind all day and still be on the wrong path. You can hustle hard and still build someone else's dream. The system teaches you how to be a good worker, but it never teaches you how to be free. That's not a mistake. That's design. Because if you knew your power, if you realized how many ways there are to create income, to build value, to serve others and get paid for it, you wouldn't settle. You wouldn't clock in just for survival. You'd build something that feeds your soul and your wallet. And here's another lie they told you: that you have to wait your turn. That success takes 30 years. That you should pay your dues, stay humble, keep your head down, and maybe you'll get promoted. But I'm here to flip that. This is your turn. And if you don't claim it, no one's going to hand it to you. Success is not about how long you've waited, it's about how boldly you act when the opportunity shows up. It's about being willing to learn what no one taught you, to unlearn what you thought was truth, and to rebuild your mindset from the ground up. You were lied to. And that's okay. Most of us were. But now you know. Now you see it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Now it's your move. The broke mindset trap. Shifting to a wealth-building mindset. So now you know the truth. Being broke isn't just about your bank balance, it's about your beliefs. You've seen how the system shaped you to think small, settle early, and doubt often. But here's where everything begins to change. Right here. Right now. Because once you've exposed the lies, you have to replace them with something stronger, a mindset built for wealth. Shifting into a wealth-building mindset isn't about pretending you're rich. It's not about fake it till you make it or acting like you have it all figured out. It's about learning to think like a builder, not a beggar. It means taking full responsibility for where you are without guilt or shame, but also without excuses. You stop saying, I can't because, and start saying, how can I? That one shift alone will open more doors than most people ever knock on. A wealth mindset sees money as a tool, not a trophy. It understands that income is not just about effort, it's about strategy, value, and leverage. When you're stuck in a broke mindset, you think in terms of survival. How do I make it to the end of the month? But when you're in a wealth mindset, you think in terms of systems. How do I build something that pays me whether I'm working or not? You stop trading all your time for money and start learning how to multiply your time through skills, products, and platforms. When I made this shift, everything changed. I stopped scrolling aimlessly and started studying intentionally. I stopped seeing time as something to kill and started seeing it as something to invest. I didn't need to have all the answers. I just needed to become the kind of person who searches for them. You don't need to know how everything works to start building wealth. You just need the belief that it's possible and the commitment to learn as you go. A wealth-building mindset also embraces failure not as a threat, but as information. Broke thinking sees mistakes as reasons to stop. Wealth thinking sees mistakes as feedback. Broke thinking avoids rejection. Wealth thinking understands that rejection is part of growth. If you can rewire your response to failure, you'll grow faster than 90% of the people still sitting on the sidelines waiting to feel ready. And here's something no one tells you: your environment can make or break this mindset. If everyone around you thinks small, lives broke, and talks down dreams, you have to guard your vision like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Your life, your real life, is on the other side of the way you think. You need to feed your mind with stories of people who started where you are and built something real. You need to read, listen, watch, and surround yourself with anything that reminds you, this is possible. This is for me. This is real. This shift isn't just about motivation. It's about alignment. When you align your thoughts with your goals, your actions follow. And when your actions follow a clear, focused mindset, you become unstoppable. You're no longer just surviving. You're building. You're no longer reacting. You're creating. That's the mindset shift that takes you from broke to building wealth. And it starts right here. Chapter 2. What you do have even when you're broke. You have more than you think. When you're broke, it's easy to feel like you have nothing. No money, no network, no resources, just a mountain of problems and no way up. I've been there myself, standing at the bottom, looking up, wondering how anyone ever makes it out. But here's the truth that changed everything for me, and it will for you too. Even when you're broke, you have more than you think. You have powerful tools already in your hands waiting to be put to work. First, you have time. Maybe not a lot, but more than you realize. Those hours spent scrolling social media, watching shows, or worrying about bills, they can be repurposed into something valuable. Time is your most precious currency, especially when you're starting with little else. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who break free often comes down to what they do with their time. Instead of waiting for the right moment, use what you have now to learn a skill, build a side hustle, or simply plan. Remember, the richest people on earth didn't get there because they had more hours in the day. They got there because they made every minute count. Second, you likely have access to a phone, computer, or internet connection. Think about that for a second. In the past, starting a business or side hustle meant renting a shop, printing flyers, or investing thousands. Today, you can connect with millions of potential customers, learn from free online courses, and build your brand all from your phone or laptop. This little device is a gateway to opportunity, and it's more powerful than most people realize. If you're reading this, you're already ahead of many who don't even know these tools exist or are too afraid to try. Use them wisely. Your phone can be your store, your marketing team, your classroom, and your bank. Third, you have energy and hunger. Those feelings of frustration, anger, or desperation. They're not just pain, they're fuel. Many successful entrepreneurs started because they were fed up with their lives, tired of being broke, and hungry for change. Don't let your current situation drain you, let it drive you. Channel that fire into focused action. Even if it's small steps every day, momentum builds, and before you know it, you're moving faster than you thought possible. Fourth, and this one is critical. You have a story and experience that no one else has. Your struggles, your wins, your lessons, they're unique and valuable. In today's world, authenticity sells. People want to hear real stories, not just perfect highlight reels. Sharing your journey, your challenges, and how you overcame them can connect you to customers, clients, and communities. Your story is your brand. It sets you apart and builds trust faster than any marketing tactic. Don't underestimate the power of owning your narrative. Finally, remember this, you're not starting from zero. You're starting from where you are with what you have. That might sound small, but it's everything. You don't need a fancy degree, a big investment, or perfect timing. You just need the willingness to start, to fail, and to keep going. Many successful entrepreneurs began with less than you have right now, some even homeless or working multiple jobs. They made it because they saw opportunity in what others ignored. So don't wait for the right circumstances. Start where you are. Use what you have. Take the first step today, however small. Time, tools, energy, and your story, combine these and you have the foundation to build your future. Turning what you have into income. Knowing what you have is one thing, but turning those assets into real, consistent income is where many people get stuck. I get it. When you're broke, it can feel like you don't have anything worth selling, no skills that anyone needs, or no time to start something new. But the truth is, everyone has something valuable to offer. It's just a matter of uncovering it, repackaging it, and putting it out there. Start by looking at your existing skills. Maybe you're a good writer, even if you don't think you're a professional. Maybe you have experience organizing, planning events, or managing schedules. Maybe you know how to use social media better than your friends or family. Even basic skills like cleaning, running errands, tutoring, or fixing things can be turned into money-making opportunities. These aren't small things, they're the foundation of countless side hustles and small businesses. What you need is the confidence to say, I can offer this. Someone will pay for it. If you're not sure what your skills are, think about the things people often ask you for help with. Do you teach someone how to use their phone? Do you bake better than your neighbors? Are you quick at setting up tech or fixing gadgets? These everyday talents can be the start of a service or product that earns you money. Remember, you don't need to be an expert to get started. You just need to begin. Your time is another asset, don't underestimate it. Even if you work a full-time job or have other responsibilities, carving out a few hours a week to focus on your hustle can add up. The key is consistency. 10 focused hours per week can move mountains if you use them strategically. Use that time to learn, reach out to potential clients, create simple products, or build a social media presence. Progress doesn't require perfection. It requires persistence. Your phone and internet access are like your storefront and your marketing team combined. Platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, TaskRabbit, or local Facebook groups can connect you instantly with people looking to pay for your skills or services. You don't need a website or a fancy office. Just a willingness to get started and learn as you go. Use free tutorials on YouTube or websites like Coursera and Khan Academy to sharpen your skills or pick up new ones that complement what you already know. One of the biggest traps I see beginners fall into is the waiting for perfect mindset. They spend weeks or months planning, researching, or doubting themselves, then get discouraged before their first sale. But real progress happens when you take imperfect action. Your first client might be a friend or family member, your first product might be simple, and your first paycheck might be small, but it's proof that you can do this. Celebrate that win, no matter how small. It's the foundation you'll build on. Finally, remember this. Every dollar you earn is more than money. It's confidence. It's evidence that you're capable of change. It's a step away from survival and a step toward freedom. The more you practice turning what you have into income, the more opportunities will open. Doors will appear where before there were walls. You'll gain skills, relationships, and momentum. Your journey starts now. Not when you have everything figured out, but when you decide that what you have is enough to begin. You're not just earning income, you're building your future. And every small step forward is a victory. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. One of the deadliest traps that keeps people stuck in the broke mindset is the endless wait for perfect conditions. We tell ourselves things like, I'll start when I have more money, or I need to learn more first, or I'll launch once I have the perfect business plan. I know this because I lived it. I waited months, sometimes years, believing that if I just got my ducks in a row, success would come knocking. But the truth? Perfect conditions almost never arrive. Life is messy, unpredictable, and often unfair. If you wait for the stars to align, you'll be waiting forever. Starting without everything in place can feel terrifying. Your website might be half-baked. Your skills might feel rusty. Your confidence might be fragile. But here's what I learned the hard way: action is the only way to learn what you don't know. You can spend all the time in the world researching, planning, and doubting, but until you actually take that first step, no matter how imperfect, you won't move forward. In fact, launching imperfectly is one of the best things you can do. It forces you to face reality, confront fears, and learn fast. Every mistake you make is a lesson, every setback is a stepping stone. When you start early, you give yourself room to grow, adapt, and improve. Waiting for perfect conditions isn't cautious, it's often just fear disguised as prudence. The harsh truth is that waiting is often a form of procrastination. It feels safer to prepare endlessly than to risk failure, rejection, or embarrassment. But the longer you wait, the more you miss. Opportunities slip away. Momentum stalls. Your confidence shrinks because you keep telling yourself, not yet. Meanwhile, the world moves on without you. Also, remember that perfect is a moving target. What feels perfect today might be irrelevant tomorrow. Technology changes, markets shift, trends evolve. The real power lies in your ability to start now and keep evolving. The people who succeed aren't those who waited for perfect, they're the ones who decided, I'll figure it out as I go. Here's a powerful secret: most successful entrepreneurs started exactly where you are, with imperfect ideas, limited resources, and lots of fear. What set them apart was their decision to act anyway. They made mistakes. They adjusted. They kept pushing. And they built their success on the foundation of imperfect beginnings. So if you find yourself stuck waiting for the right time, the right skills, or the right resources, pause and ask, is this really about preparation, or is it fear? The moment you choose to start despite imperfection, you step into your power. You shift from dreaming to doing. And that shift changes everything. Remember, your future is created by the decisions you make today, not tomorrow. Take imperfect action. Learn. Adapt. Grow. The journey to financial freedom begins the moment you stop waiting and start moving. Chapter 3. The Side Hustle Starter Pack. Best hustles for broke beginners, low/no cost. When you're broke, the idea of starting a hustle might feel impossible. No money to invest. No fancy equipment. No safety net. But let me tell you something real: you don't need a pile of cash to get started. You need hustle, resourcefulness, and action. In fact, some of the most profitable income streams today were started with $0, just a phone and a willingness to figure things out along the way. If you're hungry and ready to work, there are dozens of hustles you can start today with little or no money. One of the best places to start is freelancing. If you can write, design, manage social media, do voiceovers, translate, or even just organize someone's schedule, you can get paid. Websites like Fiverr, Upwork, Freelancer, and People Per Hour let you offer services in almost any category. You don't need to be an expert, just reliable. Start with what you know, price it affordably, build a portfolio, and grow from there. I've seen people go from $0 to hundreds of dollars a week doing simple tasks like proofreading or managing inboxes. And if you don't have a skill yet, learn one. YouTube, Coursera, Skillshare, there's a free course for just about everything. Another hustle with low to zero cost is flipping items. This means finding cheap or free things locally: clothes, electronics, furniture, phones, and reselling them for a profit. Start with what you have lying around your house. Old shoes, old phones, that speaker collecting dust? List them on Facebook Marketplace, Instagram Stories, WhatsApp statuses, or local selling apps. Once you make your first few sales, reinvest that money into buying undervalued items and flipping for more. It's fast, simple, and one of the quickest ways to turn your hustle into real cash. Content creation is another powerful hustle, and it's more accessible than ever. If you enjoy talking, teaching, or storytelling, you can start a YouTube channel, TikTok page, or podcast using just your phone. Choose a niche you care about: money, lifestyle, health, relationships, mindset, and start posting. You won't make money instantly, but you will start building an audience, and in today's world, attention is currency. Monetization follows momentum. Stay consistent, provide value, and watch what happens. Let's not forget print-on-demand and dropshipping, two online business models that don't require inventory or big upfront capital. With platforms like Printful, Teespring, or Shopify, you can create your own t-shirt or mug designs and sell them online without ever touching a product. You create, they ship, you earn. All it takes is learning how to market and drive traffic. Skills you can develop through free content online. There's also digital products. If you can create a PDF guide, a checklist, an ebook, a journal template, or even a digital planner, you can sell it on sites like Gumroad or Etsy. Once created, digital products become passive income. You create them once and sell them over and over. You don't need to be a tech wizard. Just focus on solving a simple problem and packaging it well. If you're more hands-on and active, don't sleep on offline hustles like cleaning services, car washing, dog walking, personal shopping, house sitting, or helping people move. These gigs require almost zero money to start and have high demand in local neighborhoods. Print a few flyers, post in local WhatsApp groups, knock on doors, or just start with people you know. The point is this: there is always a way to start making money even with nothing but hustle. What most people lack isn't money, it's direction, discipline, and the courage to start small. The key is to stop waiting for big ideas and just take action on the simple ones. Stack those wins. Reinvest. Level up. That's how you go from broke to building. Online versus offline hustles. Choosing the right battlefield. When you're starting from zero, or worse, from behind, it's natural to ask, where do I begin? Should I hustle online or offline? It's a good question. But here's the truth most people won't tell you: both paths can lead to real money if you're willing to show up and put in the work. What matters is not choosing the perfect hustle, but choosing the one that fits where you are right now, financially, mentally, and physically. Let's break it down. Online hustles offer the kind of freedom most people dream of. You can work from home, your favorite coffee shop, or your phone while sitting on the bus. There's no dress code, no office politics, no physical location limiting your potential. Whether it's freelancing, content creation, affiliate marketing, dropshipping, print-on-demand, or digital products, online hustles allow you to scale. One good offer can reach thousands. One viral video can explode your brand. One digital product can sell over and over again while you sleep. That's real leverage. But here's the other side of the coin. Online income often takes time. You have to build trust, learn skills, and grow your visibility. You may work for weeks or even months before you see serious returns. That's why many people quit too soon. They expect fast cash. But online success is more like planting seeds. You water them consistently, and eventually, they grow into something powerful. But it takes patience, strategy, and consistency. On the flip side, offline hustles bring fast results, especially if you're broke and need money now. You don't need followers, a website, or a brand. All you need is hustle, reliability, and a way to serve people in your neighborhood. Clean someone's house, walk their dog, wash their car, sell hot food, baked goods, or second-hand clothes. Cut grass, run errands, fix things. Offline hustles are low barrier, high hustle. They reward those who take action. And the best part? These real-world gigs often build word of mouth fast. Do one good job and someone tells their cousin. Do it again and you've got referrals. It's business at its rawest and realest, no fluff, just service and exchange. And if you're in survival mode, nothing beats cash in hand after a day of real work. But here's where things get powerful: you don't have to choose one forever. In fact, the smartest thing you can do is start offline to earn immediate cash and use that money to fuel your online vision. Hustle during the day, study at night. Deliver groceries in the morning, build your freelancing profile in the evening. Sell plates on weekends, build your YouTube channel in your spare hours. This is the grind that builds the bridge from broke to business owner. Offline teaches you how to move, serve, and sell. Online teaches you how to scale, automate, and brand. Together, they're unstoppable. So don't get caught up in comparison. Don't sit around trying to find the perfect path. Start where you are with what you've got. If you've got hands, use them. If you've got Wi-Fi, use it. If you've got both, you're already dangerous. Remember, hustling is not about choosing the easiest route. It's about choosing the route that gets you moving. Whether it's on the street or on a screen, money follows motion. So move from hustle to income. Freelancing, reselling, services, and content, the realest ways to start from zero. If you're broke and hungry for a way out, you don't need a lottery ticket. You need a hustle that works with what you already have. That's where 4 low-cost, high-potential lanes come in. Freelancing, reselling, services, and content creation. These are the real streets of the new economy. No gatekeepers, no office politics, no degrees required. Just skills, hustle, and action. Let's start with freelancing. This is the art of selling your skill. Maybe you're a writer, designer, editor, social media manager, virtual assistant, video editor, or just someone who knows how to organize chaos. You might not think you're qualified, but let me be clear, you don't need to be the best, you just need to be reliable and better than someone who can't do it at all. Platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, Freelancer, and even local WhatsApp or Facebook groups are full of people who need help. You offer a solution, name your price, and deliver. Start small, build trust, stack testimonials. Freelancing is how broke people turn time into money and later into leverage. Then there's reselling, one of the fastest ways to flip your way out of broke. Start with what you already own, shoes, clothes, gadgets, books, appliances, and post them on Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree, OLX, or Instagram Stories. Once you sell a few things, reinvest into thrift store finds, clearance rack steals, or underpriced items online. The game is simple: buy low, sell high. It's not about being flashy, it's about being sharp. You learn to spot value where others see junk. And with every sale, you not only make cash, you sharpen your business instincts. Next up is services. This is where sweat turns into stacks. You don't need a resume to start cleaning houses, washing cars, doing hair, cutting grass, babysitting, or running errands. You just need initiative. Find a need in your neighborhood and fill it. Print flyers, knock on doors, post in groups, talk to people. Most people won't. That's why most people stay broke. If you're willing to move while others wait, you win. And the beauty of service-based hustles? You get paid immediately. No waiting for approvals. No algorithms. Just pure action and exchange. And finally, we've got the long game, content creation. It doesn't pay you instantly, but if you stick with it, it can change your entire life. Use your phone. Talk about what you know. Share your journey. Teach what you're learning. Be real, be raw, be useful. Whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, or podcasts, attention is currency, and in today's world, content is the most scalable asset you can build from scratch. Your ideas, your lessons, your voice, they can all become income, brand deals, clients, and community. You're not too late. You're just getting started. Each of these hustles, freelancing, reselling, services, and content, has one thing in common. You don't need permission to begin. You start where you are. You stay consistent. You grow as you go. Some will give you fast cash. Some will build long-term income. But every single one can take you from broke to building, one step at a time. So ask yourself, what can I do today? What can I offer, sell, or share that someone needs? Then do it. Don't wait for perfect. Don't wait to feel ready. Just move. Because once you taste that first dollar you earned from your own hustle, you'll never want to go back. Stacking hustles for faster growth. How to build momentum when you start with nothing. Once you get your first hustle going, whether it's freelancing, flipping, cleaning, or creating, it's time to think bigger. One hustle can pay your bills. But if you want to build wealth, create freedom, and escape survival mode for good, you need to stack. Stacking hustles is how you go from scraping by to stacking cash. It's how broke beginners multiply their income without waiting years for one thing to blow up. When you're broke, you can't afford to sit on just one stream of income. One client drops you, you're broke again. One product doesn't sell, you're back at zero. But when you start stacking smartly, adding new hustles on top of what's already working, you protect your income and grow your earning power like a beast. It's not about doing everything at once, it's about building layer by layer intentionally. Let's say you start with freelancing. You get paid for writing or editing. After a while, you realize people keep asking the same questions. So what do? You turn your knowledge into a digital product, maybe a checklist, a guide, or a mini course. Now you're making money from both service and products. That's stacking. Maybe you start by selling food plates in your area. It works. People love it. You keep going. Then one day, you start recording short videos of your cooking process. Before long, you've built a following on TikTok or YouTube, and that opens the door to content monetization. Same hustle, new income layer. That's stacking. Or you start reselling sneakers online. That hustle brings in decent profit. But then you start teaching others how to find good deals and flip shoes. Now you're coaching. That's another stream. Stack. Stacking also protects your confidence. When one stream slows down, the others keep you moving. You stop panicking and start planning. You stop thinking like a side hustler and start thinking like a business owner. But here's the key. Don't try to build 5 hustles from day one. That's chaos. Focus on one. Master it. Get it moving. Then ask, what can I add that complements this? That's strategic stacking. Not more stress, more synergy. Stacking isn't just about more money. It's about building momentum. Each new stream gives you more experience, more exposure, more options. And when that momentum compounds, you become dangerous. You're not just hustling anymore, you're building an engine that runs whether you're grinding or sleeping. So don't stop at one hustle. Start with one, but keep your vision open. Keep growing. Keep layering. The more you stack, the faster you move from just surviving to truly thriving. Chapter 4. From Hustle to Flow. How to pick your hustle, expanded and unfiltered. If you're broke and ready to change your life, here's the truth: you don't need 50 ideas. You need one idea that fits. One hustle that's aligned with your mindset, your skills, your energy, and your access. That's what creates flow. Flow is when your hustle doesn't feel like a chore, when the money comes in because the work feels natural, and when you wake up knowing exactly what to do next. That's the goal, not just to hustle, but to hustle in the right lane. Let's break it down step by step. Step 1. Mind your skills. What can you do right now? Start with what's already inside you. You don't need to go take a course or wait for a certification to start making money. Look at your current, everyday skills, no matter how small they may seem. Can you cook well? People will pay for home-cooked meals. Are you good at explaining things? You can tutor or start teaching online. Do you know how to design simple flyers on your phone? That's money waiting on Canva. The golden rule is this: if someone has ever thanked you for something you did for free, there's a hustle hiding there. Here are a few skill-based questions to ask yourself. What do people come to me for help with? What feels easy to me that others struggle with? What have I done at work, school, or in life that someone would pay for? Write it all down. You'll surprise yourself. Step 2. Respect your interests. What keeps you curious? You don't need to be in love with your hustle from day one, but you do need to pick something that doesn't drain your soul. Because when it gets boring, tough, or slow, and it will, your interest is what will carry you through. That's your fuel. If you hate numbers, don't start a bookkeeping side hustle just because it's profitable. If you love music, maybe start teaching beginners or creating content around music. When interest meets action, consistency becomes easier. And consistency is the difference between dabbling and earning. Ask yourself, what topics could I talk about for 20 minutes without preparation? What do I enjoy doing even when no one's watching? What would I do for free if I had all my bills paid? Don't pick your hustle based on hype. Pick it based on you. Step 3. Audit your access. What tools, people, and places are already in your corner? This is where most people disqualify themselves too early. I don't have a laptop. I don't have capital. I don't know anyone. But here's the truth. You've already got more than you think. If you've got a phone with a camera, you can start creating content, reselling, taking orders, or freelancing basic design work. If you've got internet access, you can learn new skills for free, send cold DMs, or apply to remote jobs. If you've got a bicycle or live near busy areas, you can offer deliveries or services locally. Also, look at people you know. Your first clients might be in your contact list: friends, family, neighbors, coworkers. Don't be ashamed to offer value to them first. Everyone starts local before they go global. Ask yourself, what free tools do I already have access to? Who around me might need help or a service I can offer? What platforms? Facebook, WhatsApp, TikTok. Am I already using that I could monetize? Your starting line is already beneath your feet. Use what's within reach. Step 4. Know your nature. What environment makes you thrive? Are you introverted or extroverted? Do you like working alone or around people? Do you feel energized in creative chaos or structured silence? Knowing how you operate helps you choose a hustle that fits your flow, not fights it. If you're shy or low energy in public, a people-facing hustle like street sales might burn you out fast. You may thrive in online spaces, writing, editing, design, voiceover work, flipping items from home. But if you love talking and connecting, try tutoring, training, personal services, or in-person selling. You're not lazy, you're likely misaligned. The wrong hustle will always feel heavier. Ask, where do I feel most confident? Online, offline, solo, or social? Do I want fast-paced and physical or calm and digital? What type of work drains me quickly, even if I'm good at it? Step 5. Be honest about your time and energy. Hustle is about using what you've got. If you only have 2 hours a day after your job, then your hustle needs to fit that. No shame, no guilt, just strategy. Don't pick a side hustle that demands 6 hours a day when you only have 2. You'll burn out, blame yourself, and quit. Ask, how many hours per week can I realistically give my hustle? When during the day do I feel most focused or productive? What time wasters or distractions could I cut to free up time? Choose a hustle that fits your schedule, not one that crushes it. Step 6. Choose and move. Don't wait for perfect. Once you've looked at your skills, interests, access, personality, and time, it's time to pick something and start. Not next week. Not when you have everything together. Start now. Hustle doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to begin. Pick a hustle you can launch this week. Test it. Talk about it. Offer it. Sell something. Serve someone. Take payment. The best hustle is the one that moves you forward. You can always adjust. You can always pivot. But you can't win a race you're not running. In summary, picking your hustle is about alignment, not hype. Forget what's trending. Forget what worked for your cousin. Forget what the gurus are yelling about on YouTube. Pick a hustle that fits your season, your strengths, and your style. The right hustle matches your natural strengths or interests, fits your current resources and time, doesn't drain your energy, can start with low or no money, gets you in motion fast. When that alignment happens, your hustle turns into flow. You don't just make money, you build momentum. You grow. You evolve. You rise. Validating your idea. After you've picked your hustle, the next step is crucial, and it's where most beginners lose time, money, and motivation. The moment you choose your idea, you'll feel the urge to make it perfect. The logo, the name, the social media page, the brand colors, maybe even a website. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. None of that matters if no one is willing to pay you. That's why validation isn't optional, it's everything. It's the step that saves you months of work and protects your energy from being wasted on an idea that hasn't been tested in the real world. Validation is simple, but it requires courage. It means putting your idea out into the world before it's polished. It means being vulnerable enough to ask, would you pay for this? And strong enough to accept the answer, whether it's yes, no, or silence. It's not about proving your worth as a person. It's about proving the value of the offer. A good idea isn't a good hustle until someone is ready to exchange money for it. That's the line. That's the moment when a thought becomes a business. Let's be honest, this step is uncomfortable. It's easier to stay behind the scenes, designing graphics, tweaking captions, watching videos on how to launch. But you don't need more preparation. You need proof. And proof doesn't come from your cousin saying, that's dope. It comes from someone, especially a stranger, saying, here's my money. That first sale is more than just income. It's belief. It's confirmation that you're on the right track. So how do you validate? You start talking. You start showing up. You message 10 people and say, I'm offering this, would you be interested? You post it on your stories, in local groups, or even in your neighborhood. You don't need a product line or a pitch deck. You need one clear offer. Here's what I do. Here's how I help. Here's what it costs. The world doesn't pay for potential, it pays for clarity. If people don't respond, you don't panic. You listen. You learn. You adjust. That feedback is the most valuable thing you'll ever get for free. Sometimes validation shows up in unexpected ways. Maybe someone doesn't buy, but they ask, "Do you also offer this?" That's a hint. Maybe they say, "I'd be interested if it included." That's market research. Maybe they say no and you realize you've been speaking to the wrong audience. All of this is useful. All of it sharpens your hustle. Because what you're doing isn't selling, you're solving. And to solve the right problem, you have to understand what people actually need. You don't have to wait until you've got it all figured out. In fact, it's better if you don't. Validation is fast, raw, and real. It's messy in the beginning, but it teaches you more than any course ever will. For example, if you're selling food, offer samples and ask for honest feedback. If you're offering a service, do it once for a discount or even free and ask, "Would you pay for this next time?" If you're creating content, make a video or post with a call to action and see how people respond. You're not fishing for likes, you're testing for demand. And don't get discouraged if the first attempt flops. It happens to all of us. The first time I tried to sell my service, no one responded. I was frustrated. But I didn't quit. I changed how I described the offer, made it more specific, and sent it to 5 new people. One of them said yes. That was all I needed. That one yes told me this could work, it just needed refining. The market doesn't hate you. It just doesn't know how to find you yet. What makes validation powerful isn't just that it confirms your idea, it also builds confidence. You don't have to hype yourself up. The results start speaking for you. That first sale, no matter how small, flips a switch in your brain. You stop asking, "Can I really do this?" and you start saying, "Let's go again." And from there, it's a matter of momentum. Validation is also an ongoing habit. Don't stop testing just because something worked once. Keep asking questions. Keep improving. Keep adapting. The market changes. Trends shift. People evolve. Stay in touch with your audience. Ask them what they're struggling with. Ask what else they need. The businesses that survive are not always the biggest or fastest. They're the ones that keep listening. So don't wait for the perfect moment to launch. Don't waste your energy obsessing over details that don't matter yet. If you believe in your hustle, prove it. Prove it by putting it in front of real people and seeing if it gets real results. That's the difference between hustling in circles and building something that lasts. And when you get that first real yes, not just a like or a follow, but someone choosing to spend their hard-earned money on your solution, everything changes. Because now it's not just an idea. It's income. It's impact. It's real. Making your first $100. Making your first $100 from your hustle is more than just a financial milestone. It's a mindset shift. It's that moment when everything you believed was possible becomes real. For most people, especially those who've always relied on a paycheck, that first $100 earned outside of a job is a breakthrough. It breaks the mental chains that say, you need someone else to give you permission to make money. It proves that you have the power to create value, solve problems, and get paid for it on your terms. The goal here is not to get rich overnight, it's to get started. That first $100 isn't about perfection, branding, or going viral. It's about choosing one hustle, getting clear on the offer, and executing with urgency. Too many beginners freeze at the starting line because they think they need to have it all figured out. But the truth is, you don't need to launch a business. You just need to make your first dollar, and then do it again and again, until you look up and realize you've built something real. Start with one hustle, not 10. Don't try to be a full-time freelancer, a YouTuber, a clothing brand, and a crypto expert all at once. That's not ambition, that's distraction. Pick one lane you can actually act on this week. Let's say it's cleaning, cooking, tutoring, reselling, or graphic design. Great! Now break it down to something even more specific. What exactly are you offering? Who are you offering it to? What result will they get? Make it so clear that someone could say yes without needing to ask 10 questions. Then get it out there. Put your offer in motion. Don't wait for an audience, create one. Post on WhatsApp, message 5 friends, talk to your neighbor, go where people already trust you. The key to the first $100 isn't reach, it's proximity. People who know you are the most likely to say yes in the beginning. Not because they pity you, but because they believe in you and they need what you're offering. If you're selling a service, offer it for a discount to 5 people and ask for referrals. If you're reselling, post 5 items on Facebook Marketplace or in a community group. If you're doing content, offer a microproduct, a checklist, a quick consultation, or a one-page guide for a few dollars just to prove that people will pay for your knowledge. The first $100 doesn't care about scale. Cares about speed and proof. You also have to price wisely. Don't undercharge just because you're starting, but don't overthink pricing either. If it's a service, ask yourself, how much would I feel good about earning for this? Start there. Then deliver like they paid double. Blow people away with value. Make them say, wow, I'd pay more next time. That kind of experience turns first-time clients into repeat customers, and repeat customers are the seeds of long-term income. And don't get discouraged if it's slow at first. Maybe you only make $10 in your first week. That's not failure. That's a spark. Because once that spark is lit, you know you're capable. You've proven to yourself that you can create money, not wait for it. That feeling is addictive and powerful. It builds momentum. It makes the next $100 easier. Then $300. Then $500. It grows. But here's the truth. Most people never make their first $100 because they never make the ask. They wait for someone to discover them. They post in silence, hoping a client just appears. But money doesn't move toward silence. Money moves toward action. You've got to put yourself out there. Risk rejection. Risk being ignored. Because every no brings you closer to a yes. When you finally hit that first $100, it won't feel like luck. It'll feel like proof. Proof that you're not stuck. Proof that your value is real. Proof that your hustle can provide, grow, and expand. And from that moment on, you'll never again believe that the only way to survive is to depend on a boss, a system, or a job you hate. Because now you know you can generate income with your own 2 hands and your own 2 feet. That's not just power. That's freedom. Chapter 5. Learn, earn, repeat. Skill stacking for broke entrepreneurs. When you're broke, you might think the only thing that matters is money. But if you focus only on the hustle and ignore your personal growth, you'll always be chasing scraps. The truth is, broke beginners who win don't just hustle harder, they learn smarter. They understand that money doesn't follow people who need it. It follows people who can solve problems. And the more problems you can solve, the more money will chase you down. That's why building a stack of valuable, practical skills is one of the smartest moves you can make when starting from the bottom. Skill stacking isn't about becoming a master of one thing. It's about becoming dangerous in many areas. It's the art of combining multiple simple, useful, and money-generating skills to create something greater than the sum of its parts. 1 skill might feed you. 2 skills might sustain you. But when you stack 3, 4, or 5 together, now you're a one-person business machine. You become someone who doesn't just have a hustle, you have leverage. You can move faster, charge higher, and pivot easily when things shift. Think about this. Imagine someone who knows how to design simple social media posts using Canva. That's useful. But now imagine that person also learns how to write captions that convert into sales. Then they learn how to schedule posts, how to read analytics, and how to communicate with clients. Suddenly, they're not just a designer. They're a social media manager, a strategist, a content marketer. And they didn't get there by luck. They built that stack 1 layer at a time. The best part is, skill stacking costs you nothing but time, energy, and commitment. You don't need a degree. You don't need to pay thousands. You don't need permission. In today's world, the internet has opened every door you could ask for. Want to learn design? There are free tools and tutorials. Want to get better at writing? Practice for 15 minutes a day. Want to improve your communication? Record yourself talking and refine it. Every single skill you need to win is already available, you just have to want it badly enough to chase it with discipline. The key is to think strategically. Don't just learn random skills. Stack the ones that support your hustle. If you're into selling products, learn how to write better product descriptions. Then learn how to shoot clean product photos. Then learn basic customer service communication. You're not just leveling up, you're making yourself harder to replace. You're building your brand from the inside out. If you're into content creation, stack up video editing, storytelling, lighting, and analytics. Suddenly, you're not just posting, you're building influence. And here's the truth most people won't tell you: you don't need to be the best at any of these skills. You just need to be better than the average person who has no clue what they're doing. That's it. Be the person who knows enough to help, solve, deliver, and charge. In this game, action beats expertise. Consistency beats talent. You don't have to be a genius, you just have to show up and stack smarter than the rest. The most dangerous person in the room isn't the one with the loudest voice, it's the one with the most tools in their bag. When you know how to do more, you rely on others less. You don't need to beg a designer to build your brand. You don't need to hire a marketer to promote your product. You don't need a tech expert to build your systems. You are the team. And as you grow, you'll have the power to either keep doing it yourself or teach others to do it for you because you understand every piece. So if you're broke right now, stop worrying about what you lack and start building what you control. Stack your skills like bricks. Each one makes you stronger, smarter, and more valuable. One day you'll look back and realize you don't just have a hustle. You have power. You didn't get lucky, you got intentional. And that intention is what builds wealth that doesn't disappear when the economy shifts or the algorithm changes. You don't need to do everything at once. Just start with one skill, then add another, then another. Over time, those little daily decisions turn into unstoppable momentum. That's the path. That's the formula. Learn, earn, repeat. Learn, earn, repeat. Free resources, YouTube, books, AI tools. One of the biggest lies that keeps people broke is the idea that you need money to learn. In today's world, that's simply not true. If you have a smartphone, an internet connection, and the hunger to grow, you already have access to more education than any university in the world. You don't need to wait until you can afford to learn. You can start right now for free. The real question is not whether resources are available. It's whether you're disciplined enough to use them consistently. YouTube alone is a digital classroom that covers everything from how to start a hustle, edit videos, build websites, write ads, fix credit, sell online, or master a new skill. And the crazy part? Costs nothing but time and attention. Yet most people scroll through nonsense instead of searching with intention. The information that can change your life is already out there, but it's hidden behind distraction, laziness, and poor habits. The broke person who treats YouTube like a university will always outgrow the person who uses it only for entertainment. Books are another weapon for broke entrepreneurs. While everyone else is waiting for motivation to strike, readers are learning frameworks, strategies, and mindsets from millionaires for the price of a meal, or free if you use libraries or online PDFs. One good book can save you 5 years of mistakes. One good idea applied at the right time can be worth thousands. Books are not just words, they're shortcuts, blueprints, and silent mentors. And in a world where almost nobody reads, becoming someone who does makes you dangerous. And now we've entered a new era, the AI era. Tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, and others are now accessible to almost everyone, and they are a game changer for broke hustlers. You can use AI to brainstorm business ideas, write product descriptions, improve your grammar, create marketing plans, or even help you learn faster by simplifying complex topics. These tools aren't just for tech geniuses, they're for you. If you know how to ask the right questions, AI becomes your 24/7 business partner, coach, and assistant. The playing field is leveling faster than most people realize. A broke 22-year-old in a rural town now has access to the same tools, knowledge, and growth opportunities as someone in a city with an MBA. The only difference is execution. The ones who will rise are not the ones with the fanciest gadgets or the most connections. They're the ones who show up daily, use free tools like gold, and build their brain like a business. The excuses are gone now. You don't need to wait for funding. You don't need to borrow money to take action. You just need discipline. You need to trade 30 minutes of scrolling for 30 minutes of studying. You need to treat your YouTube search bar like a classroom and your AI tools like teammates. You need to read before you sleep instead of zoning out on Netflix. Because every day you delay learning is another day you delay earning. The internet is your gym. AI is your personal trainer. Books are your mentors. YouTube is your classroom. You have the map. Now you've got to move your feet. Learn, earn, repeat. The 80-20 rule of self-education. One of the biggest mistakes broke beginners make when trying to level up is thinking they need to learn everything before they can start. They spend weeks studying, reading, and preparing but never doing. They get stuck in a cycle of information overload, and by the time they finally feel ready, the opportunity is gone or the motivation is dead. That's why you need to understand and live by one of the most powerful principles in personal growth and entrepreneurship, the 80-20 rule. Also known as the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule simply says this: 80% of your results will come from 20% of your efforts. That means not everything you do is equal. In fact, most of what you're doing or learning is probably not moving you forward. If you're not careful, you'll spend your best energy on things that look productive but don't create results. That's where broke entrepreneurs stay broke. They're busy, but they're not effective. When it comes to self-education, the 80-20 rule is your filter. It helps you focus on learning the right things, not just learning more things. You don't need to become an expert in every topic. You need to learn the 20% of skills that will unlock 80% of your progress. For most beginners, that's usually things like communication, sales, consistency, basic marketing, and problem solving. These core skills touch almost every hustle, every business, and every opportunity you'll ever pursue. Master them and doors start opening faster than you thought possible. Let's get real, you don't need to watch 30 videos on how to start a hustle. You need to watch one, then take action. You don't need to read 10 books on mindset. You need to read one, apply the top 3 lessons, and live them. Most people are addicted to learning because it feels safe. It gives the illusion of progress without the risk of failure. But the truth is, action is the greatest teacher of all. Until you put something into practice, it's just mental clutter. The 80-20 rule demands that you stop hoarding information and start extracting value from it. Here's the trick. After every video you watch, every chapter you read, every tool you try, ask yourself, what's the one thing I can apply right now? That question will make you dangerous. It forces you to turn theory into action. And action is where money is made. Knowledge is potential. Execution is power. You also need to cut out the noise. Unfollow pages that give you random tips with no direction. Stop jumping from one business idea to the next every week. Pick a path, find the top 3 to 5 skills required, and focus your learning there. Go deep, not wide. When you learn intentionally, you start seeing faster results. You start building confidence. You start trusting yourself, not because you know everything, but because you know the right things and you're actually doing them. And here's the kicker. Once you see what 20% of your efforts are creating 80% of your growth, you double down. You lean into those skills, those actions, those resources. That's how you accelerate. That's how broke beginners become income earners and income earners become entrepreneurs. Not by knowing more, but by doing more of what matters most. The 80-20 rule isn't just a productivity hack. It's a life strategy. It reminds you that your time, energy, and attention are limited, but your potential is not. You don't need to master everything to win. You just need to focus on what moves the needle. Learn smart. Move fast. Cut the fluff. Apply what works. That's the mindset that builds freedom. Chapter 6. Managing money when you finally make it. Don't blow your first wins, fully expanded. When the money finally starts coming in, it's easy to lose your grip. After weeks or months of grinding, testing, failing, and trying again, that first breakthrough feels like a jackpot. Whether it's $100, $1,000, or your first month making more from your hustle than from your job, it feels big. And that feeling can cloud your judgment fast. Suddenly you feel like you deserve a little treat. A new pair of shoes. A night out. Maybe even a new phone. And while there's nothing wrong with celebrating progress, blowing your first wins is how you end up broke again. This is the phase that separates the short-term hustlers from the long-term builders. Most people think the money is the goal. It's not. The money is the signal. It tells you you're onto something. Now don't screw it up. Your first wins are proof of concept. It means your hustle can work. But that doesn't mean it will continue to work unless you stay focused and start managing your money like someone who's not just chasing income, but building freedom. Here's the brutal truth: more money doesn't fix bad habits. In fact, it magnifies them. If you can't manage $100, you won't manage $1,000. If you blow your first $500 trying to impress people who don't care, you'll blow $5,000 the same way, just on bigger things. The amount changes, but the behavior doesn't. That's why your mindset has to evolve faster than your bank balance. Otherwise, the money will come in and disappear just as fast. Your first wins should be used strategically, not emotionally. That means stepping back and asking smart questions. How much of this should I save? What can I reinvest to grow the hustle? What costs do I need to prepare for next month? This isn't about being boring, it's about being in control. You didn't hustle this hard just to end up back at zero next week. Look, there's nothing glamorous about stacking money quietly while everyone else is showing off. But the truth is, real wealth moves in silence. Loud spending is easy. Smart saving is rare. When you start treating your early wins as fuel, not trophies, you start to separate from the pack. You start creating breathing room, stability, and power. You stop reacting to every financial emergency because now you've got a cushion. That's what real progress feels like, not hype, but security. There's also a psychological shift here. When you protect your early wins, you build confidence. You prove to yourself that you're not just lucky, you're intentional. You start believing, I know how to earn and I know how to manage. I'm not just chasing income, I'm learning how to keep it, multiply it, and use it to buy time. That mindset is rare. But that mindset is freedom. So yes, celebrate your wins. But celebrate with discipline. Take a walk. Share your success with someone you trust. Write down what you did right so you can repeat it. But don't fall into the trap of spending like a millionaire when you're still building like a soldier. You haven't made it. You've started. And that's a beautiful place to be as long as you don't let short-term excitement kill your long-term potential. Never forget this: most people don't go broke because they didn't make money. They go broke because they didn't respect the money they made. Don't be one of them. Managing money when you finally make it. Simple budgeting for hustlers expanded. Budgeting isn't about living a joyless, restricted life. It's about taking control of your money so you can actually make it work for you. For many broke beginners, budgeting feels like a complicated, boring chore. But it doesn't have to be that way. Simple budgeting is a powerful tool that helps you understand exactly where your money comes from and where it's going, so you can stop the leaks and start building real momentum. The truth is, if you don't know how to manage the little you have, you'll never grow the wealth you want. And that starts with clarity and honesty. Start by tracking every cent that comes in and every cent that goes out. This means writing down every payment, no matter how small. Whether it's the airtime you buy, transport fare, snacks, or supplies for your hustle. At first, it might feel tedious or uncomfortable because you'll realize how fast money slips through your hands. But that's the wake-up call you need. Without knowing the exact flow of your money, you're flying blind, and every small leak adds up to bigger losses. Tracking your expenses is the first step toward plugging those leaks and keeping more cash in your pocket. Once you have a clear picture of your money's flow, you can create a simple plan to allocate it effectively. A classic approach is the 50/30/20 split. 50% of your income goes to essentials like food, housing, and transport. 30% goes to reinvesting in your hustle or building savings, and 20% is for personal spending or emergencies. But remember, these percentages aren't rigid rules, they're guidelines. Depending on where you are in your hustle journey, you might need to tweak them. For example, if you're in the growth phase, investing more than 30% back into your business might make sense, even if it means cutting back on personal spending temporarily. The key is giving your money a clear purpose rather than letting it wander aimlessly. This purposeful allocation transforms your money into a strategic tool. Each dollar becomes a soldier on a mission to feed your hustle, cover your needs, or protect you against surprises. And trust me, surprises will come. Life doesn't wait for your hustle to be perfect. Whether it's an unexpected phone repair, a medical bill, or a sudden travel cost, those moments test your financial discipline. But when you've budgeted wisely, you don't panic. You have a cushion, a buffer, and the confidence to handle setbacks without losing momentum. Budgeting also changes your mindset. When you understand where your money is going, you stop feeling powerless. You gain control and confidence. No more guessing if you have enough for the week or stressing over bills. That peace of mind frees your mental energy to focus on growing your hustle instead of worrying about money. It turns money from a source of anxiety into a tool for freedom. Finally, your budget isn't a fixed prison, it's a living plan. As your hustle grows and your situation changes, you need to revisit and adjust your budget regularly. Weekly or monthly reviews help you celebrate progress and identify where you can improve. Maybe you managed to save a bit more this month, or maybe unexpected expenses forced you to tighten your belt. The important thing is staying honest and flexible. This habit will keep your finances aligned with your goals and your hustle moving forward. Remember, budgeting doesn't kill dreams, it fuels them. It's the foundation that takes your hustle from a risky gamble to a sustainable business. If you want to keep winning, you have to keep budgeting. Simple, consistent budgeting is the secret weapon of every successful entrepreneur who started broke. Managing money when you finally make it. Building an emergency fund. One of the most overlooked but powerful moves any hustler can make is building an emergency fund. When you're starting out broke, emergencies feel like disasters that knock you off track. Unexpected phone repairs, sudden medical bills, or an urgent need for transport. Without a financial cushion, these moments don't just cause stress. They stop your hustle cold. Building an emergency fund isn't about saving a fortune overnight. It's about creating a safety net that protects you from life's curveballs so you can keep moving forward without panic or delay. Think of your emergency fund as your personal financial armor. It gives you freedom to make decisions without fear. Instead of scrambling for quick cash or borrowing with high interest, you handle setbacks calmly, knowing you've got backup. Starting small is perfectly fine. Even setting aside a few dollars a week adds up over time. The key is consistency, not the amount. As your hustle grows, so should your fund, eventually covering at least 1 to 3 months of your essential expenses. This fund is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the foundation of real financial resilience. Without an emergency fund, every unexpected expense becomes a threat to your progress. But when you build this buffer, you don't just protect your money, you protect your mindset. You stay focused on growth instead of stress. You can take smart risks knowing you have a fallback. That's how successful entrepreneurs keep their momentum even in tough times. An emergency fund turns uncertainty into confidence, chaos into control. Managing money when you finally make it. Reinvesting into yourself and your hustle. Making money is just the first step. What you do next determines if you stay stuck or start building real wealth. Reinvesting into yourself and your hustle is one of the smartest moves you can make, especially as a broke beginner. It means taking a portion of your earnings and using it to upgrade your skills, tools, or marketing so you can work smarter and grow faster. This isn't about frivolous spending or chasing shiny objects. It's about strategic investments that multiply your income over time. When you put money back into learning new skills, buying better equipment, or running ads to reach more customers, you're fueling the engine of your business and creating momentum that compounds. Reinvesting is also a mindset shift from thinking like a consumer who spends for instant gratification to thinking like an entrepreneur who spends to build long-term value. Every dollar you put back into your hustle is a vote for your future success. It's proof that you believe in your own potential and that you're willing to plant seeds now to harvest bigger rewards later. Whether it's paying for a course to sharpen your skills, upgrading your phone for better content creation, or buying materials that improve your product quality, reinvestment shows discipline and commitment. It tells the world, and more importantly yourself, that you're serious about growth. At the same time, reinvesting keeps your hustle alive and competitive. The market never stands still, and neither should you. Technology changes, customer preferences evolve, and new opportunities arise. If you're not continuously improving, you risk falling behind. But when you consistently put money back into your growth, you stay ahead of the curve. You build trust with your customers because you're always delivering better value. You create multiple income streams by expanding your skills and offerings. In short, reinvesting isn't just smart. It's essential for turning a side hustle into a sustainable business and, eventually, financial freedom. The key to successful reinvestment is balance. Don't pour every cent back in and starve yourself. Keep enough to cover your needs, but commit to a fixed percentage or amount each month that goes directly into your growth. This habit turns your earnings into an investment plan with compounding returns, not just spending. Reinvesting keeps your hustle fueled and your mindset sharp, and over time it creates a powerful cycle of growth that makes your first wins look small in comparison to the empire you build. Chapter 7. From Side Hustle to Business. Building Systems Expanded Deep Dive. When you're starting out, your hustle feels like your baby. It's personal, it's messy, and you're doing everything yourself because you want control and you don't trust anyone else to do it right. But here's a hard truth: the moment you want to grow beyond what one person can handle, the do-it-all-yourself mentality becomes your biggest enemy. Growth demands that you build systems, structured, repeatable processes that keep your business running smoothly whether you're awake or asleep. Systems are the secret sauce that transforms a side hustle into a real business. Imagine your business as a machine. At first, you're spinning all the gears manually, turning every cog yourself. That's exhausting, and it limits how fast or how much you can grow. Building systems means designing that machine so it can run automatically, reliably, and with less input from you. This could be as simple as creating a checklist for fulfilling orders, or as complex as automating your customer onboarding with emails that deliver tutorials, answer FAQs, and upsell your services. The more parts of your business that run on repeatable, documented processes, the more your time is freed up to focus on growth. Start by breaking your hustle into core activities: sales, marketing, customer service, product creation, delivery, and follow-up. Then ask yourself, what exactly do I do for each? How can I write those steps down so someone else could follow them? Don't worry about making these processes perfect on your first try. Clarity and consistency are the goals. Write out detailed instructions, create templates, record videos showing how you do the work, whatever helps capture your know-how. This documentation becomes your playbook. Once you have your playbook, it's time to implement automation tools where possible. For example, use email marketing platforms to automate welcome sequences or abandoned cart reminders. Use scheduling apps to book calls or social media tools to queue posts ahead of time. Automation reduces human error and frees you from repetitive tasks that drain your energy. Next, think about delegation. When you find yourself overwhelmed, identify tasks that don't need your unique skills, maybe customer support, basic editing, or inventory management, and outsource or hire someone part-time or freelance to handle them. Training others with your systems ensures quality stays high. Beyond saving time, systems create predictability and professionalism. Customers notice when orders arrive on time, communications are clear, and problems get solved quickly. They trust your business because you deliver consistently. You also reduce costly mistakes that happen when you rush or juggle too many things at once. Systems become a safety net that supports growth, rather than chaos that threatens it. The mindset shift is huge. Building systems means letting go of control over every detail and trusting processes and people instead. It means accepting that your hustle isn't just a passion project anymore. It's a business that must run efficiently to survive and scale. You'll need patience and discipline because building and refining systems takes time, but the payoff is massive. Once your business can operate with less of your daily input, you gain freedom. Freedom to innovate, to explore new opportunities, or even to step away without everything falling apart. Remember, systems are never done. As you grow, revisit and improve your processes regularly. What worked at $100 a month won't always work at $10,000 a month. Embrace continuous improvement. Stay curious about new tools, software, and ways to streamline. The entrepreneurs who thrive are those obsessed with efficiency and quality because they know that strong systems build strong businesses. In short, building systems is the bridge from burnout to breakthrough. It's the foundation of sustainable success. When your hustle runs on systems, it stops being a job and starts being a business, and that's where real wealth begins. Scaling smart. Scaling your hustle isn't just about making more money. It's about making more money without doubling your stress, hours, or headaches. Smart scaling means growing your business strategically, so you keep control while expanding your impact and income. Too many beginners try to grow too fast. chasing every shiny opportunity, hiring too soon, or spending wildly on things they don't understand. The result? Burnout, wasted money, and sometimes even business failure. Scaling smart is the exact opposite. It's slow, intentional, and built on a foundation of solid systems and proven results. Before you scale, you must know what parts of your business are already working and bringing in profit consistently. Growth isn't about blind hustle, it's about doubling down on what works. Look at your best-selling products or services, your most engaged customers, and your most effective marketing channels. These are your growth levers. When you focus your time and money on amplifying these proven winners, you increase your chances of success and minimize risk. Scaling smart means saying no to distractions and yes to what actually moves the needle. One of the most powerful strategies in smart scaling is automation and delegation. You can only wear so many hats before your productivity tanks. Use automation tools to handle repetitive tasks, email marketing, order processing, scheduling, or social media posting. At the same time, hire help for tasks that don't require your unique skills. Start small with freelancers or virtual assistants and train them using your systems. This lets you focus on the high-value activities only you can do, like creating, strategizing, or building relationships. Cash flow is king when scaling. Growth requires investment, but it must be deliberate and measured. Don't throw money at advertising or inventory before you have the systems and demand to support it. Scale in stages. Test new campaigns or product lines on a small scale, track results closely, then invest more if the data proves positive. This lean approach keeps you flexible and protects your business from costly mistakes. Scaling smart also means preparing your mindset for change. Growth will bring new challenges, more customers, more questions, more complexity. Instead of fearing this, embrace it as proof you're moving forward. Build routines and habits that keep you grounded, like regular reviews of your finances, weekly planning sessions, or connecting with mentors. Growth is a marathon, not a sprint. Sustainable success comes from pacing yourself and learning as you go. Finally, scaling smart means never losing sight of your customers. As you grow, keep your focus on delivering exceptional value and service. Happy customers become repeat buyers and your best marketers through word of mouth. Don't let rapid growth dilute the quality or personal touch that made your hustle successful in the first place. In summary, scaling smart is about intentional, data-driven, and system-supported growth. It's the difference between chasing random wins and building a thriving, sustainable business. When you scale smart, you're not just growing, you're growing wisely. From side hustle to business. Quitting your job, when and how. Quitting your job to pursue your hustle full-time is one of the most pivotal decisions you'll make on your entrepreneurial journey. It's not just a change in your paycheck. It's a change in your entire lifestyle, mindset, and risk level. Many people dream of quitting their 9-to-5, but few do it successfully because they lack a plan and underestimate what it takes to transition smoothly. Doing it the right way requires preparation, patience, and a clear strategy to protect yourself from unnecessary setbacks and stress. First, financial readiness is key. Your side hustle needs to be consistently generating income that not only matches but ideally exceeds your current essential expenses, things like rent, food, utilities, and transportation. This consistency shows you that your hustle has staying power and you won't be left scrambling to pay bills. Many seasoned entrepreneurs recommend having a minimum of 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses saved as an emergency fund before making the leap. This cushion acts as your safety net, giving you breathing room to handle slow periods, invest in growth, or cover unexpected costs without panic. Without this buffer, quitting your job can quickly turn into a financial nightmare. But money is just part of the equation. Quitting your job also requires a massive mindset shift. Moving from the security of a steady paycheck to the unpredictability of entrepreneurship can be scary. You're trading the comfort of routine and benefits for uncertainty and hustle. It's crucial to mentally prepare yourself for ups and downs. There will be highs when your hustle thrives and lows when things don't go as planned. Building mental toughness, embracing failure as part of growth, and cultivating patience will be your greatest assets. Surround yourself with a supportive community, mentors, friends, or peers who understand the grind and lean on them when the path feels lonely. Timing your exit strategically also makes a huge difference. Avoid quitting impulsively out of frustration with your current job or excitement over a single big sale. Instead, set concrete goals for your hustle, track monthly revenue, profit margins, and growth trends. Aim to reach consistent benchmarks for several months before considering quitting. If possible, give your employer professional notice and maintain good relationships. It's a small world and you never know when you might cross paths again. If your current job allows, consider negotiating reduced hours or flexible work arrangements to ease into entrepreneurship gradually. Once you quit, your workload won't get lighter. In fact, it'll probably get heavier. The freedom you gain comes with responsibility. You'll be managing every aspect of your business, and success depends on your discipline, focus, and ability to adapt. Set clear, realistic goals for the first year and review them regularly. Celebrate small wins to keep your momentum, but stay prepared for the hustle it takes to build a sustainable business. Ultimately, quitting your job is a leap of faith, one that can lead to incredible freedom and fulfillment if done with care and planning. Don't rush it. Prepare financially and mentally. Build a support system. Set clear milestones and timelines. Make the decision on your terms, not out of desperation. When you do, you'll set yourself up not just to survive, but to thrive. What success feels like after being broke. Success after coming from broke is a complex, deeply personal experience that goes far beyond the numbers in your bank account or the possessions you acquire. For anyone who's struggled with scarcity, who has felt the anxiety of not knowing where the next meal or rent payment would come from, finally achieving financial stability and even abundance is a moment of intense emotional release. It's relief that the nightmare of scarcity has ended, relief that the countless sacrifices you made weren't in vain. But it's also pride in yourself for surviving, for hustling, for refusing to give up when the odds were stacked against you. That pride is mixed with disbelief, a kind of "is this real?" feeling that makes you double-check your bank app multiple times a day. Because you've been in the trenches, every dollar you earn now holds more meaning than just spending power. It symbolizes freedom from the chains of poverty and the validation of your efforts and resilience. The money becomes more than currency. It's a trophy, a badge of honor, and a tool for building a better life. You remember nights spent worrying, watching expenses, saying no to things others take for granted, and that memory fuels your desire to keep growing. You know firsthand how fragile success can be, so you approach it with a mix of joy and caution. But success isn't a finish line. For those who started broke, it often feels like the start of a new chapter filled with fresh challenges. The hunger that once drove you to hustle isn't quenched by a bank balance. Instead, it transforms. Now you're hungry for sustainability, for mastering new skills, for building a business or life that can withstand setbacks. The urgency shifts from mere survival to thriving and leaving a legacy. You want to prove to yourself and the world that your success isn't a fluke or a one-time stroke of luck. It's the result of discipline, grit, and relentless effort. Emotionally, success can be surprisingly lonely. As you rise, some relationships shift or strain. Friends or family might struggle to relate to your new reality, or worse, they might become jealous or distant. You might feel pressure to appear put together even when inside you're scared or uncertain. Imposter syndrome can creep in, making you doubt whether you truly deserve what you've earned. These internal battles are common, yet they test your resolve and character. How you handle them often determines whether you continue to rise or stumble. The other side of success is responsibility. You carry the weight of your past struggles with you, which brings a sense of duty not just to yourself but to those who helped you or who remain in tough situations. Many successful people from humble beginnings develop a fierce desire to give back, whether through mentorship, philanthropy, or simply being a role model. Success becomes about impact, not just income. This responsibility grounds you and helps you stay humble, reminding you where you started and keeping your feet on the ground. Ultimately, success after being broke is a mix of exhilaration, gratitude, pressure, and purpose. It's an ongoing journey where the hunger that fueled your climb transforms into a hunger for meaningful growth and contribution. It feels like standing at the edge of a new horizon, full of opportunity but demanding focus, wisdom, and heart. Your story doesn't end when you make money, it only begins in a richer, deeper way. New challenges, new responsibilities. Success is thrilling, but it also ushers in a host of new challenges and responsibilities that often catch first-time entrepreneurs off guard. When you start out broke and hustling, your focus is laser-sharp on immediate survival, getting that first sale, covering daily bills, and proving to yourself that your hustle works. But once your hustle begins to grow and your income starts to climb, everything changes. Suddenly, your business isn't just a side project, it's a living entity that depends on you to thrive, and you become responsible not only for yourself but for others as well. One of the most immediate challenges is managing growth without sacrificing quality. When demand increases, more customers, more orders, more inquiries, you can't simply work harder or longer hours forever. Your business needs systems, processes, and often people to keep up with the pace. Customers will expect faster responses, higher product or service standards, and consistent experiences. If you let quality slip even for a short time, your reputation can suffer, undoing months or years of hard work. This is where building and refining systems becomes critical. From customer service scripts to inventory management and order fulfillment, you need reliable workflows that keep your business running smoothly as it scales. Delegation is another major shift and challenge. As a solo hustler, you're used to doing everything yourself because you trust no one else to get it right. But growing businesses require you to let go of that control and train others to handle key tasks. Whether you hire employees, freelancers, or virtual assistants, learning to delegate well is a skill in itself. It demands clear communication, trust, and patience. You'll likely make mistakes along the way, but it's part of the process. Without delegation, growth stalls, and burnout becomes inevitable. Financial management becomes increasingly complex with success. When money was tight, it was easier to keep track of every cent. But as income grows, so do expenses, taxes, payroll, advertising, inventory costs, software subscriptions, and more. You must shift from thinking about day-to-day survival to forecasting cash flow weeks or months ahead. Budgeting becomes a strategic tool, not just a chore. Planning for taxes, setting aside funds for reinvestment, and building emergency savings become priorities. Many entrepreneurs find they need to upgrade their financial literacy, work with accountants or financial advisors, and adopt better tools for tracking their money. Ignoring this complexity can lead to cash flow crises even when revenue looks good on paper. Success also impacts your personal life in significant ways. Relationships with friends and family can shift as your lifestyle and priorities change. Some people celebrate your wins, others may feel jealous or distant. You might face questions or pressure about how you spend your time or money. Managing these dynamics requires emotional intelligence and clear boundaries. Additionally, the demands of running a growing business can encroach on your personal time. Maintaining a healthy work-life balance becomes a conscious effort, setting boundaries, scheduling downtime, and finding ways to recharge mentally and physically. Neglecting self-care can lead to burnout, which harms both your health and your business. Facing these new challenges and responsibilities is a sign that you're on the right path. It means you're growing beyond the limits of a side hustle and stepping into the role of a true entrepreneur and leader. It can be overwhelming, but it's also an incredible opportunity for growth, not just financially, but personally and professionally. Developing resilience, learning to trust others, improving your financial savvy, and prioritizing balance are all skills that will serve you for life. Remember, nobody builds a business alone. Seek out mentors, connect with peers, and keep investing in your own education and mindset. Embrace the complexity as part of your evolution. When you rise to meet these challenges with humility and hunger, you're laying the foundation for lasting success that honors where you started and reaches far into your future. Staying grounded, giving back. As you climb the ladder of success, staying grounded becomes one of the most important challenges and gifts you can give yourself. Success has a way of changing how people see you and how you see yourself. It can inflate your ego, make you feel invincible, or create a sense of isolation from those who once walked the same path. But true, lasting success isn't about how high you rise, it's about how deeply you stay connected to your values, your roots, and your community. Staying humble keeps you open to learning, adaptable in the face of change, and resilient through challenges. One of the best ways to stay grounded is by remembering where you started and honoring the journey daily. Reflect on the struggles, the late nights, and the moments when giving up seemed easier. Let those memories fuel your gratitude and remind you that success is a gift, not an entitlement. Practicing gratitude regularly can shift your mindset from "what's next" to "what do I already have?" A shift that brings peace and clarity even in the busiest seasons. Giving back is a powerful extension of staying humble. When you invest your time, money, or knowledge into helping others, whether mentoring someone just starting out, supporting causes that matter to you, or creating opportunities for your community, you not only uplift others but deepen your own sense of purpose. Giving back creates a cycle of positive energy that fuels your growth and legacy. It connects you with the larger mission behind your hustle and reminds you that your success is about impact, not just income. Moreover, giving back cultivates empathy and perspective. It keeps you aware that not everyone starts from the same place and not everyone has the opportunities you've fought hard to create. This awareness inspires humility and generosity, qualities that attract loyal customers, supportive partners, and meaningful relationships. When you lead with humility and a giving heart, you build a brand and life that money alone can't buy. Finally, staying grounded means investing in yourself beyond money and hustle. Prioritize self-care, mental health, and relationships. Set boundaries that protect your energy and keep your purpose clear. Balance ambition with peace, drive with rest. This harmony is the foundation for sustainable success and true fulfillment. In short, staying hungry means never settling for less than your potential. Staying humble means never forgetting who you are or where you came from. Together, they create a powerful combination that not only sustains your success but magnifies its meaning. Your journey is bigger than the hustle. It's about legacy, impact, and the lives you touch along the way. Bonus chapter: Hustles that failed me and what I learned. Real talk: what didn't work? Failure isn't just a part of the journey. For me, it was a constant companion during my early attempts to build income. I started with so much hope and excitement, jumping into different hustles with big dreams but often without a solid plan or enough research. I tried launching digital products, freelance gigs, and even small online stores, but many of these efforts never took off. Sometimes the market just wasn't ready, or my offer didn't solve a real problem and no one wanted to buy what I was selling. Other times I underestimated the time, effort, or skills needed to deliver quality work. For example, I once launched an ebook without validating if people actually needed or wanted that information, and it barely sold. I also invested time in gigs that drained my energy but didn't pay enough to justify the effort. These failures stung deeply. They made me question my abilities and sometimes my purpose. But I realized that these experiences weren't roadblocks. They were part of building my foundation. Being brutally honest about what didn't work helped me see where I needed to grow and pushed me to refine my approach. Lessons only failure can teach. The lessons that came from these failures were invaluable, lessons no book or course could teach as deeply as lived experience. Failure taught me patience, showing me that real success takes time, often much longer than we want to admit. It forced me to slow down and focus on understanding my audience better before launching new products or services. I learned to listen carefully to feedback, even when it was uncomfortable or critical, and use it to pivot my ideas in better directions. Failure also taught me humility. It showed me that I'm not perfect and that mistakes are inevitable and necessary. Most importantly, failure built resilience in me. Every setback was a test of how badly I wanted success, and every time I got back up, I became stronger and wiser. It pushed me to develop creative problem-solving skills, to hustle smarter, and to keep my eyes on the long-term prize. Failure reshaped my mindset to see setbacks not as endings but as stepping stones leading to growth. Start with $0, the No Money Guide to Earning Online Fast by Paito Hills.